Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to the episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. It's your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm super excited to come to you today with another fresh new episode for your Friday. Hope you guys are well, had a great week if you're listening real time, and crushed it out there this week. You know, this show has done and gone a lot of different places over the past year. We have really been documenting and showing our journey along the way, different conversations we've had, growth topics, struggle topics, things that we have gone through, ups and downs, and I want to make sure that we're always sharing that here on the show because I know how important it is to get around people who are doing and saying and talking about the things that you're trying to do or you are doing or you have done. And so I want to be that maybe light in the dark room for you. There has been a common census going around right now that it's been a rough start to the year for a lot of you guys. A lot of, just like myself, have been hammered with rain. Absolutely decimated with rain. I think we had 14 or 15 inches of rain just in the month of May. It rained 22 out of the 31 days. It was a brutal month, but we had a great start to June, had a lot of sunny days, things dried out, and we're about to get hit with more rain over the next 7 to 10 days. So we're back in the thick of it, but what I always try to tell you, or what I always try to tell people is, and what I remind myself of every single day when we get rained out is look, come July and August, we're going to be begging for this rain, so don't complain too much. The more it rains now, further it's going to get us into the summer. So I am very, very, very thankful for the rain. It definitely screwed us up, hurts our schedules. But I also say this, look, rain helps you with, it gives you a legitimate excuse for delays more than anything. So if you do have to delay, there is a legit reason. It's not just hey, we didn't get the job done in time, right? It's been raining, it's been crazy, we can't get in there, it's too muddy, all that stuff. So that buys you a little bit of time sometimes, maybe if you're backed up on a project or you didn't bid it right and you're taking longer than expected, but you got one coming. Sometimes the rain is actually a good thing, let's be honest here. So it's been a rough spring, and a lot of guys are saying, man, leads aren't coming in, phone's not ringing, we're not booking the work we need to be booking, and I get all that. I went through that earlier in the springtime. January, February, March was pretty rough for us this year. We didn't get much lead flow at all, and we had a lot of payroll already running, and so that kind of put us in a hole to start the year, and now we're trying to bounce back out of that and make sure that we are tackling the year strong and prepping better to going into next year. And so how are we going to do that? That's a loaded topic, and we'll probably talk about that on another show for another day. But what I want to talk about today is the 3 stages of business that I've kind of see at my level, right? And this is not, again, I'm not Mark Bradley coming and talking to you. I'm Jeremiah Jennings running a $500,000 landscape company, trying to get to $1 million, right? So just bear with me here, and I'm not going to sound the most polished, the most professional, but I do want to share where and what I have seen up to this point, and where I think that I need to work, where I think we need to work if we want to grow. So I want to walk through the 3 stages of business that I have seen, and so let's start with number 1. And you probably know it. This just all went blank. It's the scramble phase, right? So there's 3 stages. There's scramble, there's stable, and there's scaling. Let's go to the scramble stage first. So scramble stage is year 1, year 2, sometimes year 3, but year 3 you start stabilizing pretty good. So we'll call it year 1 and year 2. Year 1 and year 2 was 2018, 2019 for me, and boy, oh boy, it was crazy. So I took over my lawn and landscape company, Growing Green Landscapes, in 2018. It was not named that then. I named it then, formed the LLC, did all that stuff. Actually, I didn't form the LLC. I just operated as a sole prop for a while. But I didn't know what I didn't know, and I took it out of high school, got a few yards. I took it over like 20 accounts, bought it from the guy that I was working with, and we grew it since then. We just kept on going and expanding and growing services and being more professional, and we just grew. But year 1 and year 2, man, it was rough. It was a lot of, the long days never end, right? But it was a lot of really long days and just no organization in place, right? It was a lot of pen and paper, notebooks, writing down what my expenses were for the day, what my profit was for the day, like all manual entry, not keeping up with like receipts or anything like that to the way that we should be. I didn't have any one way that I was spending. I think I still had same bank accounts at that point. I don't think I was separating anything yet. It was just like trying to get new clients, right? It was drive anywhere and everywhere for the most part. There was a few places like I wouldn't go, but there are some that I did. Like I remember I went 45 minutes to a place down the road, and I was like, and it was like a $200 little install. Like it was a cleanup. It wasn't even an install. And so it was a crazy time. It was a challenging time, but I was young and dumb and didn't know what I didn't know back then. I was literally 18, 19, and I was just hustling. I was enjoying what I was doing. I was dating Savannah, and we were like, hey, let's go. And so we got engaged in 2019. We got married in 2020. And then we finally hit that little bit of stable stride. The scramble stage, guys, can get you good for a long time if you don't put the steps in place to get out of that phase. And getting out of that phase is really finding out what is your ICP, right? What is your ideal customer profile, and who do you know to go after? Because once you have that, right, once you have your ICP, then you can sit here and say, okay, I only want these clients in this area. Let's figure out how to get them, right? And so that keeps you from driving automatically. Nixes the 30, 40-minute drive times right there. So you should ask yourself today, if you feel like you are in that scramble stage, what can I do to get out of this week, next week, the next month, the next 3 months, right? How can I end 2025 heading into 2026 with a true stabilized business in place? Because guys, guess what? It is June the 6th. The year is almost halfway over. June the 6th. We're almost 6 months through the year. And it's like, what have you done that's different than January or February, right? And I honestly, like, I want to look back and say, man, I made a lot of changes. And man, we have. We've made a lot of changes on the back end. Our systems are in place. And it's little things that we use daily now that I'm like, how did I ever get by without this? But it's just one of those things that you're not necessarily always paying attention to. The systems are not always some flashy, shiny thing that you have to do every day. It's just something that gets built, gets put in place, and you decide to make sure you implement it moving forward. For us, one of ours is like a system that we're using now that I can't imagine not having is our online booking system, right? So you go online, you automatically book, and you get a calendar appointment. You get to choose a date and a time, and we go out there and we meet with you from there. And that works for your calendar. We have our calendar availabilities on it, and it just works. And I sit here and think about not doing that, and I'm like, whoa, what was I doing before that? I was just like taking everybody in and just reaching out and hoping I didn't miss a lead. Because I miss leads 100%. That's no longer a thing. That's absolutely no longer a thing. And so for us moving forward, it's like, okay, there's a system. There's a process. Let's continue that system and process and see what we can do to make sure we take that into 2020, the end of 2025, into 2026, firing on all cylinders. And that's, I plan to do something like that for a little enhanced version of that for our Christmas light installation, because Christmas light installation, guys, gets so many leads. It's hard to keep up with how many come in transparently. It's like we get inundated with leads in a matter of 6 weeks, like multiple 10s, 15s, 20s, 30s, 40s a day. And so it's like, how do I stay on top of these? How do I not miss anybody? And how do I have still some sort of life outside of sending out Christmas light quotes? And so that's the system and the process that we're using. So I highly encourage you to find something like that, right? And find an area in your business that you can say, okay, let me take this, let me put it in place. Let's get out of this scramble stage. Let's find my ICP. and let's get into this stable stage, right? Maybe it is buying some new equipment because you have old rundown equipment that is beater and it's breaking out all the time, right? Something's always breaking on it. You have more downtime than you have uptime. Like, that is scramble. That will cause you to scramble because you're going to be like, how can I get the yards done? I can't get the yards done. Rain's coming this day. My mower's in the shop, right? So much added stress that's just not necessary because you just won't spend the money and go buy a new piece of equipment. Little decisions like that feel huge in the moment, right? They feel huge in the moment. But you'll look back in 2 or 3 weeks and you'll be like, how did I live without it? And that's just part of life. It's part of how you grow and how you expand in your business. And so you want to do that calculated, right? You want to do it. You want to be responsible. You don't want to make bad financial decisions and investments. But buying equipment that directly generates you revenue is usually a pretty good investment when you have the work to go and do it. And maybe you don't even have the work yet, but you feel like you're starting to get that work. And there's different opinions, right? There's different opinions on that. Some people are going to say rent for 6 months or a year. And what I would tell you is, like, if you have a very good rental source that's like close to you, good availability, reliable, like good rates, then maybe you do rent for 2, 3, 4 months. But if you struggle with that and you having the work for a month or 2 months, like that's what we did back in 2022, was we had a lot of work to get done and we were getting more and more of it, but we didn't have a machine. And so we were renting a little tiny walk behind or a dingo from Home Depot, and we were just hoping that we would get there in the morning and it would be there because we couldn't reserve it through that. And we don't have really another good rental source around us for that type of equipment that fits our day-to-day jobs. And so we decided, okay, look, I've had 2 months of straight work. I'm going to buy a unit. And so I went and bought our Iron Rhino, and it's been a great unit, and it's made us so much money. It's paid for itself so many times just because I was like, look, I can't keep spending time running back and forth with the rental, getting it cleaned, getting it back, getting it fueled, all that stuff that adds up, guys. That's money coming out of your pocket every single day you do that. So if you have the work, maybe that's a decision you make. You buy new equipment, you invest in equipment, and you help make your schedule more streamlined. So let's transition over to the stable phase, right? So now we have stabilized. We have 50, 60, 70, 80 clients, and we have a recurring maintenance business, and we're getting some enhancement work, and we're getting some landscape work, and we're just running. And it feels like we go back to the scramble stage for a minute when you start getting into these enhancements, because we're running 70, 80 mows a week with 2 or 3 guys, and then we're starting to get enhancement work coming in. It's like, how do we get all this done? We don't have time. So then you're back to scrambling again because you feel like you don't have enough time, you don't have enough people, you don't have enough equipment. So you got to be strategic, right? So we have our 50 or 60 maintenance clients in place, 70, 80 maybe. Well, before you go starting a second crew, and I've talked about this on Wednesday's show, before you go starting a second crew, maybe you sit there and say, okay, where are our holes in our maintenance company now? And we have 80 clients, but maybe we should only have 60. And dropping down to 60 is going to allow us to not take on another crew right now, not take on that overhead, and continue to generate a lot of revenue with 2 people, 2 guys, right? So maybe you lose $1,600, $2,000 a month in payroll because you lose another guy, but you lose $1,000, $1,500 in revenue as well. But everyone is happier, right? Everyone's happier. The schedule's lighter. So you may break even on that switch. You may not save money. You may make a little more money depending on how quickly guys continue to get routes done because they're not as fatigued. They're not so overloaded. And like that's what we're doing right now. We're cutting the fat in our route to where it's like lean, mean, green machine. We need to be running wide open, firing on all cylinders all day, every day with 2 men. And we want to continue to do that. And we're making those hard decisions right now. And sometimes that is canceling clients that you've had for a long time. And it's not fun. It is not fun, but I can promise you life still goes on. I've done that this week, and it's not fun. Some people didn't even respond. They're probably pissed that I'm dropping them. I get it. But it's just part of it. It's part of it. And I can't continue to lose money based on an emotional tied to you because I've had you in my business for a long time and you've supported us. Like, I get that, and I'm so thankful. But, like, we've been doing this route for a year or two, barely making any money because I've, like, cared about you too much. And that can't happen any longer. So I got out of there and I gave them a referral, and that's the best that I can do. I thank them so profusely, like, that they have, for what they've done for us, how we couldn't have done it without them, which is all true. But everything, every life has cycles to it. And this life and this, this relationship had a cycle. And so I'll always be friends and talk to them outside of here, right? But as far as our relationship of us cutting your grass, it just had to come to an end. And so that's what you got to do sometimes. And I suggest that you do that, because if you feel like you hit stride and you get to stable and then you go backwards, that's no good either. So maybe you go backwards and then you reset a little bit before you move forwards again, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Like, we are resetting hard our maintenance to where we're, like, really profitable before we decide to grow. And we've already got the second truck in place. Like, we're ready to go come fall or spring whenever we start locking in some contracts. But we got to make sure that we are doing it at a profitable rate in an efficient manner where the guys are not absolutely dying and killing themselves. And so the stable phase is you have those clients in place and you have a good schedule, you have some systems running and optimized, and you feel like you're figuring it out. But maybe you're a one-man band at Stabilize, or you're a three-man band at Stabilize, right? But then, again, you get back to these enhancements coming in, and you're like, what do we do? Where do we go? How do I figure this out? Because I can't keep doing it the way that I'm doing it. I'm slipping back into the scramble stage. So stable's fun. Some people stay stable for a long time. Sometimes they stay stable forever. They have their 60, 70, 80 clients. They have them and a guy on a trimmer, and they go to work every day, and they do really, really good work, and they take really, really good care of their customers, and they make really, really good money. And maybe that's where you fall. And maybe that's where you stay for a long time, if not always, right? That may be you. But if that's not you and you want to keep growing, well, then you slip over into the scale category. And the scale category is one that I'm going to be careful to talk about, because I've gone through the scramble stage, I've gone through the stable stage, and now we're in between stable and scale. And I want to share what my thoughts about it, and I want to share what I believe I'm going to see happen, and what we're going to do to continue to scale. But again, I'm not going to talk on my butt and act like I know everything, because I 100% don't know everything. And scaling looks different for everyone, but for a lot of people, and I think almost all people, there are a few key principles in place. And those principles are, one, hire the right people. You don't hire bad people in your business. You only hire people that are coming in to growing green landscapes, and they're bought into our vision, and we sell our vision, and they say, look, hey, that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to be a part of. Let's grow it. And they're bought in. There's no calling out. There's no, I'm spending more time at a gas station than I need to, or I'm going to go sit at the yard. Like, no. Those aren't things that happen. They're not things that happen. The things that happen are, hey, let's go. Like, let's make this more efficient. I think this job could actually go better if we did this, right? They give you that type of feedback. And that comes through learning to lead. It comes through just leadership development. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a great book to read in this journey. I would read that in the stable phase. But you just sit there and you're like, okay, I'm only bringing good people on. And that's where I'm at with my business. I only bring good people in. End of story, end of discussion. All said and done, I only bring good people in the door. And so as we continue now, then we head over into the systems and the process side of things. It's the training of your employees. It's the process from clocking in and clocking out, and time tracking, and invoice reporting, and all the things that go into running a business, both maintenance and design build project-based work. And none of it is easy. None of it is an overnight success. None of it's going to happen overnight. But you got to know that if you put in the work, you're going to see the results. But you have to do it calculated, and you have to have people in your corner. Find people that are doing the same thing or have already done the thing that you're wanting to do. That's what I'm doing with my coaching with Pat Murray. Like, Pat's an awesome dude. We align on a lot of things in life. I love his vision for the industry, what it is, his vision for his company, his outlook on life, his Christian perspective. right? Like, I look up to Pat and call him a mentor any day of the week. And I pay Pat a lot of money to guide me through some of these decisions that we're making right now. And he's helped me tremendously in some of this tracking and these numbers and diving into these things that I should be doing that maybe you just don't know. You just don't know what you don't know. And that ignorance, right, will keep you in the stable stage forever, if not the scramble stage forever. So if you want to scale, you got to get people around you who have done what you're wanting to do, and they're going to lay it all out there for you. No holds barred, no strings attached. Hey, here we go. Let's grow. Let me show you what we did. This is how you can do it. This is some changes you can make. These are struggles we went through. How can you avoid it? And so on and so forth. So the three stages, right, of business that I'm seeing now, we end at scale. And scale goes all the way up to 50 million, right? 100 million. But scale also goes up to 3 to 5 million, right? You don't have to have a $50 million landscape company. You can have a $3 to $5 million company and still be doing it at scale. You're talking 30, 40 guys if you're running maintenance at that point to do that kind of revenue. And so you're leading a lot of people. You have a lot of people relying on you. I highly suggest you have some things in place that you're going to be able to look back to and say, look, this is how we do it. This is our policy, blah, blah, blah. This is what we have. You find that for you. You build that policy out. You figure out what it is. And you go put it to work. Like, it's that simple. Use chat every day. Chat should be your new best friend. You should spend more time with chat than you do anybody else in your company almost, because it's going to give you good answers if you give the right prompts. But anyway, that's my quick rundown on the 3 stages of business, and I hope that it brought you a little bit of value. You heard I spend a little more time on the stable phase because that's where I'm at. That's what I just came out of. That's what I'm in. Like all of the above right there. And we're trying to break into this scale stage, so I'm not going to sit here and preach about it because I don't know a ton about it. I'm just seeing trends of things that I think are what we're going to do. And when we do scale and we're in the thick of it, I'm going to come back and tell you all about it. But you got to come back and keep listening, keep supporting the show, and sharing the show with your friends so that we can grow the show and grow the community one relationship at a time. And I thank you for that. And thank you for your support. And we have a few codes out there that are working. Code Jeremiah with the Element and Greenius. If you do that promo, just do all caps Jeremiah on the sign-up page, and you'll get 10% off the software there. GG50 will get you into Equip Expo 2025 for $15 or $20 right now. Price went up from $12.50 now, but it's still very cheap, very nominal. I would rather get in now and lose $20 than wait until the door and pay $40, $50, $60, because that's how much those tickets get. And so those are some ways that you can help us and support us right now. What's going on? I love each and every one of you. I care about you. That's why we do the show, is to help you grow your companies. Had some new listeners coming in and messaging recently. Thank you for those, because without you, again, this would not be possible. And so I hope that I continue to bring you value. I hope you get value out of the shows, and I get value out of all you guys' stories, relationships that we've built, and anything that I do can help, please reach out and let me know. But thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. I'll come back with you here on Monday for another Marriage Monday with Savannah and myself. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.